We might be having a protest right outside of Pittsburgh in one of the suburban school districts because a young sister was choked out, stomped out, and given a concussion by a white male. Y'all heard me. Y'all heard me. This just happened about a week ago. Yes, we did the Joe Budden podcast. Shout out to Joe Budden. Yes, we did the Joe Budden podcast. And it was a real, relaxed, respectable conversation. Shout out to Joe Budden for that. Shout out to Joe Budden for that. Shout out to Mel. Shout out to Ish. Shout out to Imani. Shout out to Queen's Flip. It was a very respectable, laid-back conversation. If you're looking for a lot of conflict, you're not going to get that with my Joe Budden podcast. Yes, it was a 5-hour conversation. Yes, it was a 5-hour podcast. Yes, it was a 5-hour interview. 5 hours of power on the Joe Budden podcast featuring the Prince of Pan-Africanism. It was 5 hours of power. It was 5 hours of power in Dirty Jersey with Joe Budden and Queen's Flip in the family, but it was not adversarial. It was not confrontational. It was not adversarial. It was not confrontational. It was very laid back and respectable. It was very laid back and respectable. We dealt with some serious topics. 5 hours of power, Joe Budden and King Kong Consciousness, featuring Mel, Queen's Flip, Imani, and Ish. It was a very laid back, respectable conversation. I think he's going to drop it on Christmas Day. I think the Joe Budden podcast part 1 with King Kong is going to drop on Christmas Day. It's going to drop on Christmas Day. Breakfast Club, it's almost time for the return. Who ready for the Prince of Pan-Africanism back on the Breakfast Club? Who ready for the Prince of Pan-Africanism back on the Breakfast Club? Who's ready for King Kong to invade Power 105.1? It's time for the return. It's time for the return. Brothers and sisters, 2024 is the year of organizing. If you're not helping me organize, I don't want to be bothered with you. If you want to be a secretary for Dr. Umar's organization in your state, in your city, text 215-989-9858. No rainbow gangers, no bunny hoppers. All due respect. No rainbow gangs, no bunny hoppers. Much respect to both communities, but I'm not into either one. No rainbow gangers, no bunny hoppers if you want to be a secretary. 215-989-9858. Male and female. No rainbow gangs, no bunny hop. 215-989-9858. I'm dealing with a situation right now. We have a young sister in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who was choked out, stomped out by a white boy and his friends inside the school. I'm dealing with a situation in Pennsylvania right now. Where my Pittsburgh Africans at? Where are my Pittsburgh Africans at? I want to speak to Pittsburgh, and I want to speak to my Eastern Ohio Africans. I want to talk to all my Pennsylvania Africans. We might be having a protest just outside of Pittsburgh in one of the suburban school districts. We might be having a protest just outside of Pittsburgh in one of the suburban school districts. We might be having a protest right outside of Pittsburgh in one of the suburban school districts because a young sister was choked out, stomped out, and given a concussion by a white male. Y'all heard me. Y'all heard me. This just happened about a week ago. This just happened about 2 weeks ago. A young sister in high school was stomped out, choked out by a white male in school, beat up by a white boy and her friends. And guess what they gave her? A 3-day suspension, and they gave the white boy who assaulted her a 3-day suspension. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. How does a black girl get stomped out by a white boy, called the N-word, given a concussion, and she gets the same punishment that he gets? We about to have, ain't nothing fake about me, Jay Johnson. I'm gonna send you to the Snow Bunny picnic for that. Fake beard. Ain't no fake beard over here. Ain't nothing fake on me. Ain't nothing fake on King Kong. Ain't nothing fake on King Kong. See, that's the type of shit that'll get your girlfriend taken from you. Don't do that, my brother. Don't hate, because I will take your queen from you. I will take your queen. Don't hate on me, brother. I'm going to take your queen, because no black queen deserves to be with a coon. I will take your queen from you, brother. Don't hate on me. Ask your queen, would she rather be with you or me? Go ask her. Go ask your queen, would she rather be with a simp or would she rather be with me? Let me tell you what a simp is. A simp is a selfish, individual, materialistic, political punk. That's a simp. A selfish, individualistic, materialistic, political punk. A simp. S-I-M-P-P. SIM double P. These the Negroes we got in the black community. Don't fight for the kids. Don't fight for the women. Don't build no institutions. You don't do nothing for the black community. No activism. You are a selfish, individualistic, materialistic, political punk. You are a simp. A simp with two P's. You are a simp with two P's. A selfish, individualistic, materialistic, political punk. You scared to stand up for your race. You scared to stand up for your people. You are a political punk, a simp, a selfish, individualistic, materialistic, political punk. I will take your queen if you utter another disrespectful word. I will take your queen. Ifa Tunde political dictionary coming soon. Ifa Tunde, SIMPP. Take the W out. Ain't no W. SIM double P. Simp with two P's. Selfish, individualistic, materialistic, political pimp. I love you too, Tavia Holder. I love you too, baby. Is that hair natural? I need you natural, baby. If I can't grab it, I can't have it. If I can't grab it, I can't have it. If I can't grab it, I can't have it. But getting back to my sister who was stomped out by the white boy, we about to have a protest in Pennsylvania. Is Pittsburgh coming to stand with me? Do we have enough black activism in Pittsburgh? Is my Aliquippa Africans coming? That's what I want to know. Is my Williamsport Africans coming? Is my Philadelphia Is my Chester Africans? Or are we going up to Pittsburgh and have a protest and let them know you cannot let a white boy stomp out one of our daughters, give her a concussion, and go home for 3 days? That was physical assault. Brothers and sisters, who coming to the Brendan Depper protest? Who coming to the Brendan Depper protest January the 31st? Who coming to the Brendan Depper protest in Bunnell, Florida? Oh, yes. 2024 is the year of activism. I'm going to put the activism back in the nationalism. 215-989-9858. I'm going to put the activism back in the nationalism. 215-989-9858. It's time to put the activism back in the nationalism. 215-989-9858. This is King Kong. This is King Kong. If you in Florida and you don't come to the Brendan Depper protest, I don't ever want to see your face again. If you live in the state of Florida and I don't see you January the 31st at the Kim C. Hammond Justice Center so we can stand in solidarity with our young brother Brendan Depper, I don't ever want to see you again. I don't ever want to see you again. I'm sick and tired of these Facebook revolutionaries, these Instagram activists. Get off your ass, get out in these streets and stand for something. I'm waiting for Kanye West to give me a call. Me and Kanye need to have a sit down. Kanye, where you at? Because you talking like you real, but you ain't dealt with the realest of the real. Kanye West, where you at? Kanye, where you at? You talking like you real, my brother, but you ain't spoke with the realest of the real. I'm the King Kong of consciousness. Where you at, Kanye? Drop the Snow Bunny Brigade and come holla at your brother. Kanye, where you at? I'm calling out Kanye West. I'm calling out Kanye West. Are you real or are you fake? Because I took up for you on the Joe Budden podcast, Kanye. I took up for you on the Joe Budden podcast, Kanye. I took up for you on the Joe Budden podcast, Kanye. I said, I think we can work with you. I said, I think we can salvage you, my brother. Kanye, where you at? It's time for a conversation with the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Are you scared or are you going to pull up? Are you scared or are you going to pull up? Where Kanye at? 215-989-9858. Let's do a massive protest. Kanye and King Kong. Kanye and King Kong. Let's do a real march on Washington. Let's do a real march on Washington. Kanye and King Kong. Let's do a real march on Washington. Let's do a real march on Washington. Where you at, Yeezy? Where you at, Yeezy? Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. I want you to enjoy the last 9 or 10 days of this year, because 2024, we hitting the ground running. Ladies, if you're a good secretary, by the way, ladies, you can't be a secretary if your man is a Dr. Umar hater. I'm sorry. I can't allow that type of breach of confidentiality. My beautiful black sisters, you cannot be a secretary for NIBPA, Team Pan-African, National Movement to Save Black Boys, or the Unapologetically African Movement, if your husband, your partner, your baby daddy, your lover, if he don't like me, I'm sorry, ladies. I can't run that risk of having the confidentiality of my organization breached because you're dealing with a beta male. You cannot. I'm sorry, ladies. Please respect the movement. Don't ask to help if you sleeping with an Ifa Tunde hater. Don't ask to help if you sleeping with an Ifa Tunde hater. This is your brother King Kong Consciousness. I'm getting ready for Fort Worth, Phoenix, and Detroit. I'm getting ready for Fort Worth, Phoenix, and Detroit. I'm getting ready for Fort Worth, Phoenix, Detroit, Jamaica Maroon Fest, January the 6th. Who coming with me to Jamaica? Who coming with me to Jamaica? Meet me up in the mountains of the Akapong Kingdom. Who's coming with me to Jamaica, January 6th? Meet me up in the mountains of the Akampong Kingdom. Meet me up in the mountains of the Akampong Kingdom when we pay respect to the great revolutionary ancestors of Cujo and Akapong and all the great revolutionary African Maroons of Jamaica who defeated the French and the British and the Spanish. Oh, yes, January 6th, I want to see all my Jamaicans up in the Akampong village. If you live in the island of Jamaica, come hang out with Dr. Umar January 6th. Saturday, January 6th in the Akampong village. The Maroon Kingdom, I'm going to be there January the 6th. I want all my Jamaican Africans. I want my Kingston Africans, my St. Catherine Africans, my St. Anne's Bay Africans. I want to see all my Jamaicans at the Akampong Kingdom up in the Maroon Village for Maroon Fest, Saturday, January the 6th. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is King Kong Consciousness. Peace and Pan-Africanism.